right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I just suffered a little bit of a power blip. Yes, my electricity went flicker, flicker, flicker. I am on the East Coast, my friends. So, I do apologize for that. Now, let's see if we can pick up where I left off. I was discussing Pakistan, I do believe. Yes, Pakistan. Now, I am going to finish out because I do have to end tonight on taps. So we are going to carry on. And for those of you listening via Memorex, you will have very little idea of what I'm talking about because, well, quite frankly, I'm going to fix your audio file. So for those of you listening live, I do apologize. So, we are going to finish up Pakistan. We're probably not going to quite get to everything tonight, although I do happen to know that it's a best of for Jen and Rick, so I may take the opportunity to run just a few minutes over. Now, back to Pakistan. All right. I believe this was the audio clip I left off on.
We are suspending security assistance only to Pakistan at this time, until the Pakistani government takes decisive action against groups, including the Afghan Taliban and the Haqqani network. We consider them to be destabilizing the region and also targeting U.S. personnel. The United States will suspend that kind of security assistance to Pakistan.
All right, so as Pakistan is one of those lovely countries that likes to burn our flag, we are stopping the flow of money. And for that, I am proud. All right. Got just a couple more things I want to touch on. North Korea not only answered the phone, they started the call. Yes, they are the ones who initiated the call in an attempt to send a delegation to the Olympics. Now, you're going to hear a whole bunch of things coming out about talks between North and South Korea. These talks are very limited in scope to the attendance of athletes at the Olympic Winter Games coming up in South Korea. These are very limited talks. And I do stress the word very limited talks. They will not be discussing missiles. They will not be discussing nuclear weapons, rockets, or sanctions. They will be discussing only the attendance of North Korean athletes at the upcoming Olympic Games being hosted in South Korea. Now, what's so amazing about the fact of this phone call? Well, first of all, these quote-unquote talks are going to be an exchange of documents. No one's actually going to be sitting at a table across from each other. They're just going to exchange paper. But what makes it so surprising is that North Korea is the one that started the call. Yeah, North Korea started it, not South Korea. We have been trying to get North Korea to answer that phone line for about 2.5 years. They keep ignoring it. Well, this time they picked up the phone. Now, of course, they're probably going to want a price for coming to the Olympic Games. What they'll get, I don't know. However, Moon, who is quite the, well, how do I put this? No politically correct way. He is quite the accommodating type. In fact, I'm going to take a step further and say Moon is South Korea's version of Obama. Yes, he is South Korea's version of Obama. Joke. No joke, no punches pulled. Moon is South Koreans' version of Obama. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know any other way to say it. He is their appeaser in chief. Now, there is one more interesting thing taking place in the region. The People's Liberation Army, aka China's army, is rapidly moving its personnel to the border region with North Korea in what appears to be preparations for war. The People's Liberation Army have also conducted war ceremonies to get their troops in the proper mindset. Now, reports from locals along the border claim that Chinese military personnel have been building up under the cover of darkness in the region of Jilin, the same province where official newspapers told residents how to prepare for nuclear war in 2016. Residents have noted overnight influxes of tanks, trucks, and personnel. Yep, tanks, trucks, and personnel concentrated near the city of Yanjin along the Tumen River. All right, little explanation because I just threw a whole bunch at you. Yanjin is the city that has a bridge over the river between North and South Korea. The Tumen River is often a point where North Koreans seek to defect in hopes of escaping for a better life. Yep. Chinese policy has long been to maintain stability on the Korean Peninsula to prevent an economic crisis that would send millions of fleeing, half-starved North Koreans into China. Now, there are intense arguments underway about what's going on along the border. However, China is moving military assets into the region. I hate to say it, but this does not bode well. All right, just thumbing through my show prep real quick. See if I got anything else that really can't wait for another night. By the way, the first of the calls between the two Koreas to propose the discussion of, quote, high-level talks next Tuesday to discuss Olympic cooperation is scheduled to take place on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. And for the record, the United States is going to postpone their annual Fall Eagle military exercises until after the Paralympics. That was announced earlier today. So that they will be postponed. This is the first time in recent memory that I've heard of them being postponed. However, it may not have been the only time. Now, I've got one last real quick story, and then I do have to make my way out of here. Secretary of Defense Mattis went to Afghanistan. His plane was subjected to rocket-propelled grenades being launched at it. However, they kind of missed their target, and he was safely at the palace by the time they decided to launch the attack. How does this tie in? Well, it led to the death, and yes, I will be ending on taps, but it led to the death of a United States, a member of the Green Berets. Now, before I read out the name and get into taps, I do want to remind you you can follow along with me on Twitter at Jesse's POV, and you can shoot me an email at the station at jessespov@klrnradio.com. So, this attempt on Secretary Mattis's plane led to the death of Sergeant First Class Mihail Golan, 33, of Fort Lee, New Jersey. He died January 1st in Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, while being engaged by the enemy by small arms fire while on a dismounted patrol. Golan was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 10th Special Forces Group, Airborne, Fort Carson, Colorado.